not. We are taking up brand new residency in a brand new place in Lower Manhattan. At some point, I'll do a bit of a feature on this, but we are actually going to begin starting today broadcasting here from a very historic place in Lower Manhattan. In fact, if I was to walk you to the other end of the complex where I'm at, you would look out of a window and look down on a cemetery that actually contains the remains of several founders of our nation, framers of the Constitution, signers to the Declaration of Independence, just outside the Trinity Church. It's the Trinity Cemetery. Among the dead that are buried there, Alexander Hamilton. So a very historic place. We're also in the shadow of the World Freedom Tower, which is the replacement of the World Trade Center. And it's a very huge honor to be coming to you from this new location. The set hasn't been yet fully installed, and people that are watching it by way of television or by way of the web, you'll see things change behind me in the days to come. But we're excited. We've been looking forward to this opportunity for quite some time, and to come from such a historical place. You know, there's a man buried in the cemetery, in Trinity Cemetery, that is once quoted as saying, "Don't give up the ship." He was one of the in the history of American military. He's one of the more significant captains, and his name is escaping me at this very minute. But he said, "Don't give up the ship." That's where that phrase comes from. And shortly thereafter, he died, and his people did give up the ship. And friends, today in America, there's a lot of people that are thinking that conservatives should give up the ship, that we shouldn't be sleeves rolled up and even more invested in the discussion and the debate for what matters in this world. And I couldn't disagree more. And I am glad to be here. I'm glad to be with you. And this is an exciting thing. So as you're watching AFA today, if you watch by way of the web in the days to come, some additional changes will be coming, but it's pretty exciting to be now here in Lower Manhattan, where we are coming to you from each weekday. Let me just get to a couple of news items. There's some very interesting stuff to talk about today. There's a very heartbreaking story that Fox News was all over. A blind man and his dog were run over by a subway train and have survived. And there's rumor that this seeing eye dog is going to be given some sort of untimely retirement. And we're kind of watching that. It'd be this dog was really a hero to this blind man. And what we really need to do is make sure that they don't separate the two. We're gonna follow that in the days to come and see what else can be attained from that. But there's a lot of other stuff that's going on. There's a story out of Ohio today that bothers me a great deal, friends. In fact, let me just give you the summation of it. A Democratic state senator in Ohio is proposing a law that would require every homeschooling parent to be investigated and approved first by social services agencies. This would be a requirement before they would be allowed to teach their own children at home. Now, there's a lot of people, 888-589-8840, there's a lot of people that say, I don't know, that might not be such a bad thing. These homeschool families, maybe it would be good if the social services people came in and said, this house is clean and these people are sane and it's okay for them to educate their children here. Your thoughts on that? 888-589-8840. This is a proposal from a Democratic lawmaker on the state level in Ohio. The homeschool legal defense is, of course, not in favor of this. It's one of the worst ever homeschool laws proposed, said Senator Capri Cafaro there in the state of Ohio. But Michael Donnelly, an attorney for the HSLDA, the Homeschool Legal Defense, said it's a breathtakingly huge bill, quite onerous in its scope, and trying to require all parents who homeschool to undergo a social services investigation would ultimately determine if homeschooling would be permitted. You know, it's funny. I gotta just call a spade here. There is no point in time in recent history when the left ever loses that they haven't spent every effort possible to try to win through some sort of backdoor mechanism. And so for 10, 15 years, the argument was, oh, well, how do we know that the kids educated at home are going to get the same quality education that you're going to give them in the public schools? Like here in Manhattan, where students are sharing a science textbook in the 5th grade. That kind of quality education. What does it take to match that? Mayor Bloomberg, one of his last duties towards the year here, he had a press conference last week, and he was bragging about how great a thing it is that the New York public schools are graduating 66% of their kids. 66%. Wow. Wow. No wonder he's patting himself on the back. That's like a D. Mayor Bloomberg. And I don't even know what the psychopath that's going to take his place is going to do. I'm actually quite, I got a little bit of jitters when this new mayor takes over in our city, because the last two mayoral administrations, I didn't agree with either one of them on social policy. Giuliani and Bloomberg were both fairly pro-abortion and just neutral on marriage, or openly hostile to traditional marriage. But this new dude, man, he wants to bust up the police. He wants to kill any law enforcement mechanisms that actually keep the city safe. And it bothers me a great deal when I see that kind of horizon for the world's greatest city. But that aside, that was the argument. Oh, they're not going to get as good of an education. And then the big push became, oh, well, you're not socializing them as much. You need to be socializing them more. If you would socialize them more, then they would be healthy and whole kids. But because they're homeschooled, they can't be socialized. You can't. They don't know what their peers think about things. Like, it's important for your 6-year-old to know what the 6-year-old next to him thinks about, like gay marriage. Huh? What? Can't we just agree that maybe 6-year-olds should be focused on reading? Can't we just agree that 6-year-olds maybe should be focused on adding, subtracting, multiplication? Why do we have to worry about their socialization at 6? I think that actually kids do much better off if they spend a lot of those formative years with their mom and dad. They learn the value system that mom and dad teach. They learn the way that life operates in that household, and the values that family espouses, and all of those are kind of important. But no, the leftists would always be like, no, we need to make sure that we're controlling their ability to learn and so forth, and socialize. We got to socialize, and we got to set the curriculum. And now they're just being ugly about it. Now this law in Ohio wants to say whether or not the house is clean enough, or whether or not there's too many cats walking around in the yard, whatever social services actually investigate. Because I have a feeling that if someone was beating their children, social services would be all over that. But it's very unlikely that these homeschool kids are in danger of abuse at home. This is just a liberal Democrat lawmaker's way of trying to monkey around with the system and go, no, I don't like the fact that you're teaching them about God. We're going to do what we can to disallow you from doing that. 888-589-8840. Some of you already have opinions about this. Let's talk to Laura calling from Ohio. Hey, Laura, welcome. You're on with Kevin McCullough. So glad you're here.
Hello.
Laura, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Hey, welcome. Yes, I can.
Okay. I basically just wanted to give an opinion. I agree with what you've said. I talk as the mother of 7 and now the grandmother of 16, and I hope not done yet. But most of those 16 who are school-aged are homeschooled. One isn't. He's autistic and needs speech therapy, and so they have entered him because he doesn't talk. But by and large, everybody else is homeschooled. I want to say they eclipse their peers when they take the achievement test.
Of course they do.
They are frequently out of touch because none of the homes have TV in the home, and so they are frequently out of touch with what's going on, but they are taken by their parents to play their violins and other musical instruments to nursing homes. They do service activities, etc. And by God's grace, all my children grew up to know the Lord, and it looks like by God's grace, perhaps the grandchildren as well. And the country is based on homes like that, not on socialization.
That's a good observation, Laura. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. 888-589-8840. Your thoughts as this Democratic lawmaker has proposed that all homeschool families in Ohio be required to pass, in essence, a social services test, if you will, in order to be able to homeschool. The lawmaker wants to pass this legislation saying that they need to be approved by social service agencies before they are able to do that. And supporters of that law may say, well, that's not totally unreasonable. Before someone is allowed to adopt a child, we always investigate the home, see what the home is like. Anytime that you have the welfare of children really at the core of the issue, is there any amount of caution and degree and carefulness that you can go overboard with? I mean, on some level, the welfare of children is legitimate, right? The question is, do you think they're going to use this law for legitimate purposes or for phony ones? And I've just got too much suspicion of government to trust that. I could be wrong. Let's talk to Dennis in Mississippi. Hi, Dennis. Welcome. You're on with Kevin McCullough. So glad you're here.
Hi, Kevin. Enjoy your show.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, hold on just a second, if you don't mind. I'm getting feedback from my phone. But, no, I homeschool my girls for 2 years. And the only reason I stopped is because my health reasons. I'm disabled, so. But this is just a power grab. That's all it is. They want to force kids into the public schools so they can indoctrinate them.
Dennis, would you have any reason to be afraid of social services coming into your home and seeing what happened during the school day, day after day?
I wouldn't have any fear, but it was they come in, they do their school, and I mean when they had to go back to school, we sent them to a private school, and they were actually ahead of where the kids
everybody
were
else in their
private
class.
School.
Yeah, nope, I get you on that, and thanks for the call, Dennis. The reason I ask that is because, well, think about it this way. If a bunch of homeschool families go, hey, no, we didn't, you can't come in here, and they're not actually living up to the level of I don't know, what should be expected in a home where the homeschooling is going to go on, then then that's going to give bait to the other side saying, see, this needs to be regulated. It would be interesting to see, because I think parents should homeschool their kids in such an environment that it is clean and sanitary and healthy and emotionally stable and enough income that the family is able to provide for their needs. And all that stuff, I think, I think that is important. But I don't think, at the end of the day, that the state should have the right to come in and do it. So I guess what I'm saying is I want homeschool families to live as though they were going to be inspected, but I don't want the state to inspect them. Is that a crazy position to have? Kevin McCullough, more of your calls next. 888-589-8840. This is AFA Today on AFR Talk. Stay with us.